ahead of his teammates. Let's take a look at the Cardinals starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. You're home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Shane Robinson. Batting second is the right field, Carlos Beltran. Matt Holliday, the left fielder, hits third, followed by Alan Craig and Yadier Molina. David Freese bats sixth. Daniel Descalso hits seventh. Pete Cosma is a shortstop. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Lance Lynn. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee. He's been very good this year, 2-0, with an ERA of 1.52.
With only the one walk, 15 hits in 23 and two-third innings, only the one home run allowed. Not a big home run night here either. Wind blowing in hard from left to right field. Cliff Lee has just been very, very consistent the way that he normally is. They haven't scored a whole lot of runs for him. Here's our scouting report on Cliff Lee. He controls the tempo of the game. That's what he wants to do. Those are his lifetime numbers against the Cardinals. These guys, pretty good hitting club, though. You want to be careful, I think, not to throw a lot of fastballs right early in the count around the plate. They'll probably be up there hacking at him early.
Well, you see the wind blowing out in the outfield. The flags going from left to right. It's a breezy night here at Citizens Bank Park.
Well, it's time for our Nissan keys to tonight's game. We have two really entirely different type pitchers here. Cliff Lee, well, you have to hit him. He's going to be out there and throwing a lot of strikes. He's not going to walk batters. Now, Lance Lynn, he is a power pitcher, a strikeout pitcher, but he also can get wild and walk people.
Well, there's Roy Halladay, who pitched so well last night for the Phillies. He got the win. He got the complete game because the rains came after he was done at the top of the seventh inning. Here's the first pitch of the ball game to Shane Robinson, and we're underway. The first pitch is taken low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. It was 2 years ago when the Phillies faced the Cardinals on the 16th of May, when Cliff Lee shockingly walked 6 batters in that ball game.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, trying to figure out who the home plate umpire was, and it turns out it was Jerry Davis. Huh?
Jerry Davis, not Jerry Lane,
right
behind the plate now. Lee does not have nights like that, as we showed you. It was just 1 walk in 23 and two-thirds innings so far. He's behind 2-0, and there's a strike, and it's 2-1. Robinson, a .222 hitter, no homers, no RBIs. He had a great spring training. He had .438 for the Cardinals.
Gets a chance to play tonight with a left-hander on the mound. A few changes in both lineups.
Yeah, David Freese and Yadier Molina, both of whom did not play in last night's ball game, are back in the lineup for the Cardinals. 2-2 pitch. The ball's hit foul off the front of the Phillies dugout.
They doing what he normally does, just pumping fastballs. There's Mike Matheny in his second season, took them to the playoffs last year. And overall record 97, 81.
Pretty good to be 16 games over 500 in your second year as a skipper. Robinson hits one to deep left field. Galvis going back toward the wall, reaches up and leaps to make the grab.
Gee, that's a home run so many nights here. Talked about how the wind's going to knock it down out there. That's an amazing play by Freddie Galvis.
Juan Samuel was working with Freddie today on the outfield again.
Well, watch the good job he does drifting on this. He never gets turned around, stays in position. He really doesn't know where the wall is. Feels the warning track, leaps, makes the play, then hits the wall. That's just because he's such a good, solid athlete that he makes it. It's not a pretty outfield play or anything. He just makes the play.
Carlos Beltran, the batter, he takes outside. Talking to Freddie today about some of the plays last night, he said the one that he missed in foul territory, he said he looked up at the flags just before that play. As Beltran takes high, it's 2-0. And he looked at his jersey, and the way the wind was moving his jersey and moving the flags was totally different than the way the ball moved when he went after that ball in foul territory. Off the end of the bat, Revere comes in, still coming in, dives, and he can't get it. He was hovering for a few steps, and it just died out in shallow center, so that'll be a base hit for Beltran.
Good job blocking it, though, and controlling it after he doesn't catch it. So it's just a single. Tough to tell from that angle. I think he's got his glove almost under it, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. He hit off the thumb of the glove.
Yeah, he actually went past it a little bit. That'd be one where he'll tell you should have caught it.
So Beltran is aboard. He's hit in 5 consecutive games. He's now 4 for 8 in the series. And that'll bring Matt Holliday to the plate. Holliday takes high. Cliff has fallen behind the first 3 hitters he's faced in this ballgame.
Throwing almost all fastballs and cutters so far.
There's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Among starting pitchers in the National League, the leader in walks is Tim Lincecum with 12, and Jaime Garcia, the Cardinals, who we saw last night, with 11. That ball is lined to right field. That'll be in for a base hit. Taken on a hop by Dominic Brown. Beltran holds at second. So back-to-back hits for the Cardinals. During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. The most walks, Lincecum and Garcia. The least walks, of course, Wainwright with none. And then Cliff Lee and Kyle Loesch with 1.
Right. And he is around the plate. And right now, a lot of fastballs are up there looking for them. And you may see him start to mix in some change-ups, maybe even breaking balls.
Alan Craig is the hitter. Craig 1 for 6 in the series so far. And Lee asked for a new baseball from Jerry Lane. See Craig's numbers with runners in scoring position. As a team, the Cardinals are .378 with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss. There you go. He's threw something soft. It's 1-1.
Yeah, right. That's what he really needs to do. That was a changeup. He throws so many fastballs, and he's so good with it around the plate. After a while, you can get hurt sometimes.
Another one. Yep. 1-2. So they backed up changeups.
Great idea. And you see Craig up there just hacking right now at those changeups because he's swinging fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
That can go a lot of ways. He doesn't. This is where he doesn't have to throw a strike.
Ground ball toward the middle. That could be 2. Rollins flips to Utley for 1. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Boy, he got the hot shot that he needed to get out of this potential jam. Well, Freddie Galvis also helped out to start out the top of the first, playing in just his 3rd game as the Phillies left fielder makes a leaping grab. We go to the bottom of the first. First, the Phillies' first look at Lance Lynn this year. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Freddie Galvis bats second. Chase Utley third. Michael Young hitting cleanup again for Ryan Howard. Dominic Brown's in right field. He'll bat fifth. John Mayberry at first base hits sixth. And the bottom third of Revere, Kratz, and Cliff Lee. And they'll face 25-year-old right-hander Lance Lynn. A little slimmer than he was a season ago when he won 18 games.
There are his numbers so far this year. I was going to say he's 6'5", 240, but he's not 240 anymore. You said, Tom, he lost a lot of weight. He's still a strikeout pitcher, but you look at those numbers, there's 24 base runners involved. He's got a power sinker, curve, change, and cutter. Become a solid starting pitcher for them, too. A guy's been in a lot of postseason games for them as a reliever and a starter.
He was an all-star last year when he won 18 ball games, 29 starts for the Cardinals. And he says that losing the weight has made him much more flexible and a little more durable. Here's Jimmy Rollins to lead it off. Rollins with 43 career leadoff home runs. And the first pitch taken inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
We've been talking about all these guys with great command, and Lynn is not one of them. He's a really good pitcher, and he can give you a tough night, but he also can pitch behind in the count and walk batters.
7 walks so far this year in 15 innings. And he's behind 2-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Marva Cassidy of Levittown. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Marva will win $300. There's a strike at 92 miles an hour. Rollins with a home run, 5 runs batted in. He's 3 for 9 on this homestand. Outside and low, 3-1. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. This was a slugfest. At least it seemed that way. Just 14 hits combined, but the Nationals hung on and defeated the Mets 7-6. Bryce Harper hit 2 more home runs.
And a long one to win.
Yeah, that was the game winner out to right center field.
What do they call that thing out there? It's like a bridge.
It's
right?
a bridge. I don't remember what they call it.
But anyway, that ball was out towards that bridge.
Well past Utley's corner.
Oh, it was way out. Off a left-hander, too. He hit it off edge.
3-2 pitch to Rollins. And a fly ball to left center field. It's not deep. Robinson comes running in. And Rollins is retired for the first out.
He did a good job working the count. He just beat him with a fastball.
One out. And after Rollins, it's Freddie Galvis. Galvis 2 for 9 in the homestand, making his 6th start of the year. Hitting .292 with a home run and 3 runs batted in.
Well, he's a perfect example. If you're versatile enough and you can swing the bat a little bit, you can play. And they're going to find a spot for you.
Yeah, particularly if you look above average defensively at all these positions.
I can't believe about left field.
Pulls that one past Juan Samuel.
Infield, yeah. Okay. Go out in the outfield and he's got trouble with some balls out there. It's a matter of time. It will happen. But he's amazing the way he can react to things.
Well, he is diligent too. It's not by luck that he's this good. He works at it. Curveball outside, 1-2.
He's a baseball player. It's cliche, but there are certain guys you just look at them, you're around them, you watch them, they know how to play. You don't have to teach them a whole lot.
Galvis out front, 79-mile-an-hour curveball. And there are 2 outs here in the first.
Heck of a curveball off the mid-90s fastball. That's a Wainwright type hook right there. That's a good one.
Ten pitches into the bottom of the first. There are 2 down for Chase Utley. Utley began the first inning rally last night with a walk. The Phillies wound up scoring 5 runs in their half of the first. Outside, 1-0. Chase's average at 300, 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. He's taken all the way, and he takes a strike. 2-1. Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief. He is very deliberate behind the plate. It takes him a little bit of time to call the balls and strikes. You can usually hear him call the strike before he shows you that it's a strike.
He's tough to umpire.
3-1. There's Jerry. Greg Gibson's over at first. Gibson was part of that crew when Cliff Lee walked 6 batters against the Cardinals. He was the first base umpire that night. Mike Estabrook at second. Alan Porter at third.
He's done that rapid blow by.
Yeah.
Come on, Chase.
Second guy to run a 3-2 count in this inning.
Utley takes outside, ball 4. Boy, that's an eagle eye right there. That was an awfully close 3-2 pitch. So 1 strikeout, 1 walk for Lynn. here in the first.
Well, it all got started last night. 2 outs in the first inning. Chase Utley took this pitch almost in the exact same spot.
Yep.
It's a ball.
Yes, it is.
And it was a 3-2 pitch last night. Well, you don't expect you're going to get 5 after that, but who knows?
Well, Michael Young extended the life of that inning with a base hit on a 3-2 pitch on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. He's hit in 10 consecutive games. Here's a little bit of minutia about Michael Young's 10-game hitting streak. It's the 29th time in his major league career he's had at least a 10-game hitting streak.
So that would mean probably that he's a pretty good hitter.
He's a pretty good hitter.
Yeah.
Probably would mean he's a 300 lifetime hitter.
He's got a lot of hits.
During this 10-game hitting streak, he's hitting .382 and his average of .339 overall. And the 0-1 pitch fouls it away.
One thing that they picked up right away on Michael Young in spring training was his work ethic. First thing. Second thing was that he's just a professional hitter. He's basically what they thought he was going to be, but when they're around him and see the way he approaches his craft, then you know why he is so good. It's always interesting when you see a guy from afar and then you get that player and then learn about them. And you see why they're good or why the other team got rid of them.
Well, he's behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Utley's over at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And a foul tip hung on to by Yadier Molina, and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Lance Lynn. He throws 19 pitches. He leaves 1. We go to the second here at Citizens Bank Park. Top of the second, Yadier Molina will lead it off.
Talk about guys that like to swing at the first pitch. It's a family trait.
Well, another piece of that family is the assistant hitting coach for the Cardinals. That's Benji Molina. And Yadier does swing at the first pitch. Played perfectly by Revere. One away.
Yeah, they all are very good catchers, and they all love to swing early.
It's kind of interesting, though, that Benji Molina is now the assistant hitting coach for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, he never thought of him
one
as
of their coaches.
A coach,
yeah,
a hitting coach, because his approach, not many would have it, except he could hit.
So Yadier's retired. David Freese is coming up.
Yadier's a late bloomer as an offensive player, and he's really good now.
Freese takes a strike. It's 0-1. So after falling behind the first 4 hitters in the first, Lee has thrown back-to-back first pitch strikes. 0-2 the count. Freese a .217 hitter with no home runs and 1 RBI.
Fastball after fastball right now. Good time maybe to try something different.
Ground ball softly hit, and Rollins will gobble it up.
And he did, to a nice little change up there, got him to roll it over.
2 outs. Daniel Descalso is coming up for the Cardinals. Let's check in with Murph. Murph, where the heck are you?
Well, Tom, I heard there was a party going on the Budweiser rooftop, so I've made my way out here. Are we having a party tonight, guys? Welcome, Tom, to the Phillies Social. It's about 150 folks that follow the Phillies at Phillies on Twitter. I got John right here to my right. Now, John, because you guys follow on Twitter, what happened tonight? What was special about tonight?
I got a free T-shirt. I watched batting practice, and I caught a ball.
That's a pretty good night for John, right? A complete night. You know, we wanted to raise awareness of the Phillies social media. Of course, we have 750,000 followers, guys, on Twitter. 1.3 million followers on Facebook. Also on Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Google. So, you don't often tell your kids this. You don't often tell the folks this. But, Tom, Wheels, be a follower tonight. Not a leader, be a follower. I know you guys follow, right?
We do follow. That is amazing, the numbers and how
and
they have
because
grown.
you do, I have pull out here. All right.
You got T-shirts for us?
Now, Wheels, do you follow?
No.
Wheels.
You were rattling off a handful of things out there like Pinterest and things like that. Wheels is like, what is that?
It's a whole different language.
I've been around a lot of pinheads, but I didn't know what that meant.
Well, this group is having a good time. We're happy to do it. At Phillies on Twitter. follow us right now. All right.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right,
Okay.
Murph. Thank you very much. 2-2 the count to Descalso.
Kind of pinned me down there, didn't he?
He Pinterest you down there,
Yeah,
Wills.
he did. All right, Murph.
Swing and a miss. Threw him a cutter. First strikeout for Cliff Lee. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the second. So Lee, pretty comfortable second inning. It finishes off with something he knows a whole lot about, and that's strikeouts. Some Cardinals fans finding their way to the ballpark. We go to the bottom of the second. Dominic Brown will lead it off. It'll be Brown, Mayberry, and Revere. 5, 6, and 7 for the Phillies against right-hander Lance Lynn. Dominic overall hitting .226. He has a couple home runs and 6 RBIs. Making his 16th start of the year, but it's his first start this season in right field. In all honesty, that's the position he's played the most in his major league career. He's made 100 starts in right field. That's the most out of any other position, whether it be center field or left field.
Yeah, and they have him in left field because they feel that Delman Young will be here at some point. He's going to play right field.
2-0 pitch to Brown. Outside, 3-0.
There's another guy with a 3-ball count. So they're making Lynn work a little bit here, even though they haven't done anything early in the game against him. Good way to approach it, though, because he can get wild.
Well, he has 3-ball counts already in this ball game. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Reds have edged the Marlins 3-2 in 13 innings. Joey Votto, home run and 2 RBIs. And Brown fouls it away. It's full 3-2. That means the Reds are tied with the Cardinals for the top spot in the National League Central. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Lance Lynn. That'll bring John Mayberry to the plate. Mayberry playing first base again tonight. Or playing first base for Ryan Howard tonight. Kevin Franza did it last night.
I found Ryan needs at least one more game here, and then they'll make another evaluation tomorrow. He came in, talked to Charlie in his office before the game, and then with Scott Sheridan, the Phillies trainer, and they just decided one more day.
They do feel just like last night that Ryan can pinch hit if they need him.
It's cold here tonight. It's going to be cold tomorrow night too, so we'll see.
Well, tomorrow is an 8:05 start. It's the Fanatics' birthday here at the ballpark. Oh, and 1 the count to Mayberry. Inside, 1-1.
13 balls, 14 strikes so far for Lance Lynn, struggling with his command.
Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
These would be Los Cardinals de San Luis for Billy Kulick over there and Ricky.
Does he say all that?
No.
Oh.
Maybe just Los Cardinals.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Mayberry. Check swing, foul ball. Mayberry's last 10 ball games is hitting .364.
Behind in the count a little bit, so the center fielder is moving. Robinson is moving a little bit towards right center, giving him more room in left center. See right there, a little bit of a gap. He gets even, he'll probably move over a step or 2.
threw him a breaking pitch. He fouled it off the third base side.
Outfielders, especially center fielders, should always play the count. Really shouldn't have anybody on the bench have to move them. You see the way he is situated. You get behind in the count, you're going to a lot of times play a little bit over. If you get even in the count or above, or the hitter gets ahead in the count, you're going to go the other way, the pull side.
Mayberry lifts it down the right field line. Beltran, he won't get there. In fact, nobody will. Lands in no man's land in foul territory.
Boy, he looks different, man. Slim. Kids has good hats to wear tonight. Glad you said that about him. I'll be looking at him thinking, who is that?
Yeah, they said that he this offseason he dedicated himself to try to get himself a little trimmer. I mean, almost 40 pounds is a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah. Big guy, went to Ole Miss. Even though he's from Indiana. He was a heck of a schoolboy pitcher. Had a lot of home runs in high school.
Popped him up, foul territory. Alan Craig over toward the Phillies dugout. It's out of play. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So although he's down in the count 1-2, Mayberry's fouling a few pitches off to make this a lengthy at bat.
A little bit late on the fastball, and that's why their defense is correct out there. Now, if you'd have thrown something off speed, you'd be pitching against your defense because you have more of a chance to pull the ball.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking pitch. That was more of a slider from Lance Lynn. And that's his 3rd strikeout. Well, we mentioned the Phanatic's birthday is tomorrow here at the ballpark. Game time is 8:05. All fans 14 and under will receive the time traveling Phanatic DVD. It is always a great night when the Phanatic, or a great day when the Phanatic is celebrating his birthday. And tomorrow is no different. So make your plans now. Come out early because there's going to be a lot of pregame festivities going on here at the ballpark. And with 1 out, then Revere is at the plate. Revere is 3 for 6 since Charlie slid him down to the 7 spot.
Driven the ball a little bit better too. You say 3 for 6, and there have been some hard hit balls there too, like the triple last night, base hit up the middle the other night, a line drive. He was really in just a rollover situation where he was hitting everything weakly to the infield there for a while.
Yeah, nothing at all was getting out of the infield. It was really surprising. Shows bunt, takes way inside. Thought he hurt himself there for a second.
Well, he thought that thing had him. I think he's trying to figure out how that missed me. He's going to run up. You're pretty defenseless when you do that. Think about running up for a bunt and then the ball's coming at you. Here he is. He's going to try and bunt his way on and starts to chase him. Whoa, I just got out of the way of that one. Feet don't fail me now.
He does show bunt again. Bunts it foul. It's 1-1.
He's kind of committed to that.
I think his feeling is if he can get it past Lynn to the right side, he might be able to get himself a base hit out of it. Freeze, the third baseman, is coming charging in. Looks like he's trying to drag it.
Yeah. Lynn has 18 errors. No, that's Lee. Sorry. Lynn only has 1 error in his career, so he's not like he's a guy that is a poor fielder.
Outside, 2-1.
Definitely he's been around a lot longer. Has a lot more errors.
As long as he doesn't have those in one
right.
season, yes.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for a pitcher.
There goes Brown. Pitches chopped back toward the middle. Backhanded by Descalso. Oh, wow. He makes a great play to get Ben Revere. Once that ball got past the shortstop Cosma, I thought that Revere was going to be able to beat that easily, particularly with Brown running in the in the eyesight of Descalso. He's able to throw him out.
It's a tremendous play because he had all kinds of obstructions. As you say, Brown's in the way. Now the shortstop cuts in front of him. Now he has to throw on the run across his body, and they pick it out of the dirt, and he's out.
Well, maybe not. Alan Craig was off the bag, but the umpire didn't see that.
Took that leap at the bag too, and that not the quickest way to get there.
Well, runner in scoring position for the Phillies. Eric Kratz, the 8-hole hitter, is at the plate. 184.
And he may get something to hit here because of Lee on deck.
He did get a fastball.
And Kratz is up there thinking, well, maybe they may pitch around me. But with Lee on deck, that presents a challenge. Kratz fans, huh?
Eric's numbers with runners in scoring position. He has driven in 4 so far. He has Brown at second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And a fastball for strike 2.
Wow.
I don't think he's pitching around him.
No. Now I can do some things.
Kratz fouls another fastball away. It remains 0-2. Lynn is now at 40 pitches through the first 2 innings.
Well, this kind of night you don't run out of gas from fatigue, that's for sure.
Breaking ball swung on and missed. Dug out by Molina. They will throw him out, and the side is retired. 4 strikeouts for Lynn. The Phillies leave 1 in scoring position here in the bottom of the second inning. Hey, reminder tomorrow, it's the Fanatics birthday celebration. I wonder if Phoebe's going to go down. And don't forget the time travel and DVD featuring Larry Anderson. Boston Red Sox, for a number of years, they sing it every single game up at Fenway Park. So Neil Diamond got on a plane this morning at 4:30 from Los Angeles, landed in Boston at around 12 or so, got to the ballpark and called the front desk and said, hey, this is Neil Diamond. Can I sing today at Fenway Park? And they obviously embraced it with open arms. And just to hear that earlier today, it was so loud at Fenway Park.
It was stirring is what it was.
It was
very
stirring.
emotional. They cut into all kinds of telecasts for that. That was great.
Cliff Lee delivers the first pitch to Pete Cosma, who hits it foul over the first base dugout.
It's a good thing whoever got that phone call said yes. yeah, right. This is really Neil Diamond. Give me a break.
Well, it's not only incredible that he was able to do that he thought about that, but that that we were able to see it and hear it, and like you said, everybody broke in.
It's unbelievable
around baseball to watch it and listen to it.
Watching the Nationals and the Mets in the game of the week. And they cut in to that game. To Kenny Albert says we're going to go up to Boston, and Neil Diamond. I'm thinking, huh?
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Well, the Red Sox did some incredible things today. Not only did they have some of the folks from the Boston Marathon who were part of the pregame ceremonies, they had some of the first responders to the bombing that were in the pregame ceremonies. The governor was there. The mayor of Boston was there. The police chief from Boston was there, and also some of the officers and federal agents who were part of the capture last night of the suspected bomber number 2 that happened during the course of our ball game last night. All of those folks were at the pregame ceremonies today.
It was amazingly emotional, and then they hit a home run to win the game late too to the Red Sox.
1-2 pitches inside, 2-2. And if you haven't seen the pregame ceremonies, take a look. There was also a speech given by David Ortiz that, let's just say, rocked the house a little bit.
Yeah. A little brain cramp.
Yeah.
We've had that happen before.
Has happened before.
Yeah.
2-2 the count to Cosmo, who will be followed by Lance Lynn, and then the top of the order. Had a foul ball.
But they wore Boston on their uniform today, too, and not Red Sox. That's one of the things Poppy said when he was up there, that we have Boston across our uniform today. It was quite a day up there. Sure they needed it.
Big old American flag that was draped over the green monster for the national anthem.
It was impressive.
3-2 pitch coming to Cosmo. Up high, ball 4. It's only the second walk of the year for Cliff Lee.
Lynn has a couple sacrifices this year. He'll be up there to try and make it 3. Cliff Lee just shaking his head. I just walk the 8 hole. I don't walk anybody, and I just walk the 8th place hitter.
After getting ahead of him.
Yeah.
First pitch is upstairs. It's 1-0.
A little bit out of whack here all of a sudden. That'll happen to him. Hasn't happened to him yet this year. We've seen it happen over the years. And a lot of times it's about he has to slow down. Even sometimes they have to go out and talk to him a little bit.
Wheels mentioned Lynn has 2 sacrifices this year. He has 12 for his career. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike as he fouls it back into the Diamond Club.
I think he knows he may have helped him there. That pitch was probably not a strike.
Jose Oquendo dressed as if he's going to a football game, walking the third base coach's box.
It's cold out there for those coaches.
Looks like he's layered up pretty good.
He is.
And he bunts it in the air. Kratz makes a diving attempt.
Nice try there by
that would have been a catch of the night right there.
It's hard to catch a ball with that glove too. On this kind of play, you get that flat glove going after it, and he almost made it. He saw it right away. Took a little bit of time to flip the mask, but you almost have to flip the mask so you can see the ball right.
It's 1-2 with nobody out here in the third. And Lynn bunts at it, and he's down on strikes. 2 strikeouts for Lee. Well, it's time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who are the only 2 players since 1900 to have won multiple Triple Crowns? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Toss over to first.
I know one of them.
You halfway there?
See.
Robinson fouls it over the Phillies dugout. Robinson flied out to left on a fine play by Galvis his first time up. Just so you know, this is your first hint. Both are recognizable names.
Yeah, well, you know, you do the tie-in thing. And
so you think you have one because of the tie-in with the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Outside and high, 1-1. There's another tie-in too that's kind of subtle.
Yeah. All right. Fans, I'm sure, already have it. He's on a whack right now. Lynn really helped him in that at bat by bunting at balls and getting himself out. All of a sudden, he's high with everything. And that's why Kratz is just going to go out and just try and slow him down a little bit. Whether it's a release point, a landing area, guys like Cliff Lee will figure it out. but he does it every once in a while where he's boop, boop, right there with everything, and then all of a sudden he gets high like this. There it is again. And when it happens to him, it's out of the stretch.
But you're right, he does generally find it.
He finds it, yeah, because he's so good.
Except for that night 2 years ago when he walked 6 against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But that was also partly Jerry Davis.
Squeeze that.
He sure did. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Robinson. And up high, ball 4. So he's walked 2. And that'll put runners on first and second for Beltran.
And all the pitches that are missing are high. You got to be careful with Beltran too. Now he may think, all right, he's going to find it here on this first pitch with a strike, and he's going to be swinging.
Curveball.
That's a great idea, because these are all fastballs that he's wild with. So why not try something else? And he throws a breaking ball.
Beltran has 3 hits and 19 career at bats against Cliff Lee. Oh, and 1 the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. He had a long home run last night against Roy Halladay.
He sure did. It was a cutter in the middle of the plate and hit it way out. And then after that, Roy threw him a lot of off-speed stuff. Curveballs, changeups got him out after that.
Doc allowed 2 hits. Both were home runs. There was that one by Beltran and one the opposite way by Halladay. That ball's hit toward left center field. Revere is out there. The wind will kick it back just a little bit. And there are 2 outs.
He made a good pitch with a cutter there. Looks like he's gotten away from his fastball. Threw some more off-speed stuff, cutter. That thing got in on him in a hurry. Watch this pitch get in on Beltran. When he swings, he thinks he has a ball in the middle of the plate. When he hit it, he didn't. Throw some fly balls out in that area tonight that are going to get knocked down too.
Well, who knows how long the wind is going to be blowing like this, but it's a little breezier than they anticipated. Runners lead off first and second. Cosma leads off second.
Another guy likes the first pitch.
He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Halladay thought that was a little high.
He hit a kind of a pop-up home run here. The wind was blowing out to right at this point with the storm coming, and Matt Halladay dropped one in the first row. Beltran's, that was a long one.
Yeah, Beltran's went just below the AT&T sign at right center. Almost the same spot, just a little farther inside. 1-1 the count. Here's Doc.
He threw where he wanted to a lot last night, and that was important. Got out of whack in that last inning. He kind of talked about that. Whoa.
They throw over to first. Lee just flipped it as if he was a quarterback leading John Mayberry. I think he surprised Mayberry.
Well, I think Lee was into one of those things where he wants to play a game with somebody. And look, he flips. He tries to tell Mayberry he's going to throw it over there. Mayberry, he's not really going to throw it, are you?
He did it over to third. Remember that last year when he did it over to third?
Same thing. He does stuff like that. It's a little bored sometimes, you know, so he has to do some different things.
1-1 the count. In the dirt, blocked by Kratz. Cosmo was leaking off the second base bag a little bit.
Really lost command in this inning. A little bit of a struggle right now for Cliff Lee. Needs to make a good pitch to a very good hitter.
There you go. Oh, a little bit inside. 3-1.
I think if his control was the way it was in a lot of other games, he's going to get that call to strike.
Holiday singled to right his first time up. He's 2 for 7 now in the series. And ball 4. It's the third walk of the inning for Lee.
What is it? These Cardinals uniforms?
Must be. His last 2 pitches were pretty close.
Especially the one before that.
So Holiday's over at first. Robinson's at second, and Cosma's around at third, and Alan Craig is the batter. He grounded into a double play his only time up. Tough spot here for Cliff Lee in the top of the third. And he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
There's Alan Craig going up there thinking he's going to throw a strike now. And he did, and it was up, and he hit it, fouled it straight back. You don't want to throw him that again. He was right on him. Cold night like this, it can be tough to pitch sometimes. The balls feel really slippery. Now all of a sudden, both these guys are having command problem, blowing on their hand a lot.
.27 pitches this inning for a total of 51. Cliff Lee has walked 3. It snaps a 20-start stretch of 1 walk or none for Lee. That one's hit right back toward the middle of base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Robinson, and he's going to score. It's 2-0 Cardinals. That was a bullet by Craig.
Yeah. Well, you fall behind a lot to these good hitters they have. Throw a lot of fastballs, you're going to get hurt. This fastball's right down the middle. You see it was supposed to be away, and he hits it right back through the middle.
Well, that'll bring Yadier Molina to the plate. Molina swung at the first pitch, his first at bat, flied out to center. So the Cardinals take the early lead here in the third. And it's 0-1. He throws him a cutter on the outside corner. I guess by the velocity, though, that was a changeup. That was at 84, so the cutter would be a little higher, a little hotter than that. There's a fastball. It's 0-2. Dirt. Kratz blocks it with his mask. And it's 1-2.
He's lucky that one didn't get up under the mask. Nice job by Kratz. Watch this thing come up right under the mask. That can be an Adam's apple shot sometimes.
Over towards second. Utley went the other way. He went toward the middle. The ball goes through the hole on the right side. 1 run scores. The throw to third on 1 hop is not in time. It's a 3-0 ball game. I don't think I've ever seen that with Chase before. He just went the other way.
It wasn't like a runner broke. Or they lost it in the coming out off the bat. Here it is. It's a ground ball to second. And he goes to the right, and obviously the ball is going to the left. That'll happen in day games sometimes. Well, he walks. They ever hurt him in this inning? They all scored.
David Freese grounded out to short his first time up. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. He went after a changeup.
Cliff Lee has had it on a string for 3 starts this year. And all of a sudden in this inning, he's having all kinds of command problems.
Inside, and it's 2-1. It is strange, as good as he's been. He's just off just a little bit.
See how much he's blowing on his hand? You know, he won't make excuses. They're going to make one for him. But when it's cold like this, guys sometimes have trouble with a baseball.
Ground ball through the hole on the right side, a base hit. One run is in as Craig scores from third. It's now 4-0 in favor of the Cardinals.
Well, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Rich Doobie now is going to go out to the mound and talk to Cliff Lee. And the Cardinals have batted around here in the third.
They scored 4 runs with 2 outs.
And the rally began with 3 straight walks before the first hit was recorded in this inning. That was the base hit by Craig, but now 3 straight hits by St. Louis.
Well, yeah, and he should be out of this inning with 2 runs. For whatever reason, Chase Utley broke to his right when the ball went to his left. That's the 3rd out of the inning. It's 2-0.
Here's Descalso, struck out his first time up. And he takes as a strike. It's 0-1. He's finally ahead of a batter. No balls and 2 strikes. He's got Cosma on deck. He began the inning with a walk.
He walked the 8-hole hitter to start the inning. That's very unlike Cliff Lee when you look at that.
Pratt's upset with himself that he couldn't hold on to that foul ball. See him pound the glove after he threw the ball back to Lee. Swing and a miss. The final out is recorded after the ninth man comes to the plate in the inning. The Cardinals score 4 in the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Phil's down 4-0. Plate against right-hander Lance Lynn, who hasn't a lot of base hit so far tonight, but has thrown 41 pitches through the first 2 innings, and you know he's been pretty wild too. Yeah. The Phillies haven't been able to capitalize just yet, though.
Right, and they certainly, the Cardinals certainly capitalize on those walks in the 3rd inning.
First pitch to Lee is pulled up the first base side, and Craig flips to Lynn covering. 1 pitch, 1 set aside here in the 3rd. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit your local Chevy dealer or ChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Jimmy Rollins is the batter. Rollins flied out to center his first time up. And they count to 3 balls and 2 strikes in that at bat. And it's low, 1-0. Rollins is tied for first in the league with 7 doubles. He's hit in 3 consecutive games and takes low, 2-1. Young man in the gray sweatshirt nearly made a one-handed grab put his hand on top of that speaker, which is at the foot of the Hall of Fame club.
Yeah, he was fighting the speaker here. It was a tough play.
Right there. Oh, he had it. Oh, making another chance. No, he was down to the left a little bit. That had to hurt his finger. I was thinking that his hand was down on the speaker and the ball hit the head.
Well, you don't do that. But, you know, here comes the ball and you get that one shot, then give it a try. Get his fingers smashed on that.
3-2 for the second straight at bat for Rollins.
Yeah, this guy is not sharp tonight, and Lee had a very difficult inning.
Galvis on deck.
He will give you some fastballs to hit too now, especially with a 4-0 lead.
Balls, 2 strikes to Rollins, 1 out here in the third. And Rollins lifts it to shallow right center field. That's going to be a tough play, and Robinson is able to hang up there for him. Yeah, there are 2 outs here in the third. Rollins is retired for the second time by Robinson. I wasn't sure what the wind was going to do with that ball, where it was hit. The second baseman, Descalso, was going out. He looked like he was lost. But Robinson closed pretty quickly to put it away.
He gave him 2 good at bats there, and then he got beaten twice. It looked like on fastballs in.
There's a slider for a strike from Lynn. It's 0-1. Galvis was the first of 4 strikeout victims for Lynn the first 2 innings.
He's throwing in that slow hook. Hasn't thrown many of them tonight. Got Eric Kratz on 1 last inning, 2 here to Freddie. Oh.
Matheny's starter last night did not go that far, so he's hoping for a little longer outing from Lance Lynn. He hasn't allowed a hit yet, but he's thrown now 55 pitches, and we're just in the third.
Thrown a bunch of deep counts on him. Fans are getting souvenirs tonight.
They sure are.
Danny O'Rourke will be back in there rubbing up some more baseballs the way this one's going. Does a great job in the umpire's room and getting the baseball ready for the game every night. Putting that jersey mud on them.
Breaking ball. Throwing 3 curveballs for strikes. And the side is retired. 5 strikeouts for Lynn. Phillies go down in order. On to the 4th we go. Top of the 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies down 4-0. Cliff Lee delivers high to Pete Cosmo. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Cosmo walked his first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Sarge not as sharp a night for Cliff Lee. I guess that's an understatement compared to his first 3 starts.
Yeah, had a few walks. Seems to have problems when he pitches against St. Louis. Had a lot of walks last year in the game. It's one of the games, too, though, that you would actually really kind of counting on the way that he has been pitching. Still not too late.
Swing and a miss, 2-2 the count. In the game 2 years ago when he walked 6, he was right around the strike zone. I remember we were doing the game, we were saying, boy, Jerry Davis' strike zone is really tight tonight.
Yeah.
It's a little different story tonight. Down the right field line, Dominic Brown. He won't have a chance at this one. It's back into the crowd. Nice catch by that guy right there. Cliff Lee had a 40-pitch third inning. Trying to get the first out here in the 4th. And he's high, 3-2. And he got him. Kratz hangs on. And there's one out here, the 4th. Lance Lynn is coming to the plate. You know, one of the toughest things for a pitcher is to fix your release point as you're going.
Yeah.
His release point doesn't seem to be as crisp as it has been. How do you fix it?
Well, same thing as making an adjustment, and you have to do that. Hopefully it won't be too late. He can keep the game exactly where it is, but you got to find that rhythm. And you got to get back to where you were the games before. But he's throwing the ball, it seems pretty good, just missing a little bit, which causes problems when you're in the major leagues, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And if you have a team like, let's say, the Cardinals tonight, where you're being a little more patient, I mean, you're just letting those real close pitches go by. Now, you struck out the first 2 in this inning in the bottom of the order. Maybe that'll enable him to have something click.
Yeah, an adjustment happening. Take a look at it, see exactly where he threw this pitch there, and that's a ball there, but you don't have to really throw strikes when you're ahead of the hitters, and that appeared to be a strike. Last minute, looked like a changeup going away.
All right, so 2 outs. Back to the top of the order now for Shane Robinson. Now, Robinson walked and flied out to left his first 2 times up. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Pitch fouled away, and it remains 0-2. Not a bad 2-strike curveball from Lee.
Times too, the St. Louis ball club, they can be pretty disciplined in terms of hitting, putting a good at bat on him.
Ground ball towards second. Utley to his right, and he throws him out. So a 1-2-3 4th for Lee. It's his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. He was hoping for a little offense for the Phillies. Phillies still looking for their first hit. Now they've had base runners. 2 walks by Lance Lynn, who has thrown a boatload of pitches tonight, but has only allowed those 2 walks. That's been it.
Yeah, well, had obviously a great year last year. You mentioned he made the All-Star team. Didn't get a chance to pitch, however, but just being on the team is quite an achievement.
It takes low, 1-0.
I don't know how I would feel about that, making the team and not at least getting an appearance, and it has happened before.
Ground ball toward first, and a pretty easy hop for Alan Craig. And 1 away here in the 4th. I agree with you, Sergeant. I mean, you would have to have been talked to by the manager before the game, saying, "Listen, you're, one of the last 2. You may or may not get in." They keep extra pitchers, in particular, in case the game goes long.
Yeah, that's one of the cases they're saying that they'd like to be able to add even more, players, so that maybe it doesn't become that type of an issue.
Michael Young 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Breaking ball. On the count. There's a fastball for a strike of the knees. It's no balls and 2 strikes. They're working the outer edge against Michael Young. That's where I think he's at his best sometimes, because he can shoot the ball the other way.
Yeah, as long as he does have his good balance, you're right, he can do that. And he likes to swing at it up in the zone. Still, though, he's a line drive hitter, and get it near the belt area and a little down there, and that's where you want to drive that ball.
See, that's on the outside part of the plate. It came back against him.
That's a tough pitch.
That's 6 strikeouts now for them. MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for your iPhone, your iPad, your iPad Mini, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At bat delivers Phillies baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Here's Dominic Brown. Walked his first time up, and he rips one to right field, and it's right at Beltran. How about this? Lance Lynn, despite the fact that he's thrown 64 pitches through 4 innings, this was the fastest inning of the night. He is not allowed a hit as we go to the 5th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of May. In fact, Sunday is StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day. Chase Utley tote bag free to women 15 and over. Order your tickets now. Phillies and the Marlins at Phillies.com. Carlos Beltran leads it off. He's 1 for 2. And Beltran lifts it to left center field. Does he have 3 home runs in 3 games? He does. Oh, he's hit 2. He's hit 1 in each of the first 2, and now adds 1 here in game 3, and it's now a 5-0 ball game. Boy, he has hit a couple long home runs in this series.
Boy, he just hit this a long way. He's a good hitter, no doubt about it. Should be hitting a little bit lower in the lineup, 3, 4, 5, and say that because this guy drives in runs.
Here's Holiday, takes high. It's 1-0. Well, I wonder if after this series, I mean, he's got 2 hits tonight. If for some reason, after the series, they move him down in the order.
Well, I believe it or not, asked Mike Matheny about that earlier today as he was talking about it.
John Mayberry, this is a tough play. The wind was taking it away from him along the right field foul territory area. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And basically, in a nutshell, we'll talk about that in a minute. As you see Mayberry going over, he has a bead on it, just didn't get over far enough. One of the things that might have helped him if he had known exactly where that rail was. So you got to get over there a little bit quicker. He did give it one heck of a try, however, especially with that wind blowing, a little bit tougher than it looks.
Out of play, 1-2 the count. Got to continue with Mike Matheny.
But anyway, he was saying that what they like to have in their second spot in the order is a guy that can hit doubles. So if there's a guy on, that they get that instant run. And right now, he fits that bill. I asked Carlos earlier, he doesn't particularly care about hitting second, but the type of player he is, he'll hit anywhere in the lineup. And believe me, I mean, he can, but 3, 4, 5, he would be much, much better because he hits the ball out of the ballpark, and in particular, he loves to hit in this ballpark.
1-2 is hit on one hop to shortstop right at Jimmy Rollins. Holiday's retired for the first out here in the top of the 5th. Lance Lynn, who has not allowed a hit through 4, now has a 5-run lead to work with, thanks to the home run by Beltran. And Felipe Alman is starting to throw in the pen for the Phillies. Phillies haven't decided what they're going to do for Monday's ball game. That's the spot vacated by John Lannon, who's on the disabled list. Joe Savory was called up yesterday. Charlie Manuel said today that a lot of it's going to depend on what they think the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to offer lineup-wise, as to whether they'll call somebody up or who they'll call up. Play, and it's 1-1. Now Craig is singled home 2 runs. He's grounded into a double play. Out toward right center field. It's going to slice back over toward Dominic Brown for the second out.
Right, you can't break on those balls too quick. Gives you an indication there. Ball almost hit the center field as you take a look at Carlos Beltran, who just belted another home run.
Down the right field line, the wind's going to take this out of play. Molina tonight is 1 for 2. He had the base hit to the right side his last time up. The Chase Utley broke the wrong way. That one's out toward the hole on the left side, and Molina is aboard with his second hit.
Okay, one of the best catchers, if not the best catcher in the National League for sure. Has bloodlines of catching. Brother, you mentioned too now, Benji is also that hitting coach, and he said he's thrown to his brother before, so it's really nothing new. It's a close-knit family. Jose, their other brother, Molina, plays with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Inside and low. Well, Rawlings every year has done the Gold Glove Awards since as long as we can remember.
Yep.
Well, they've come out now with the Platinum Glove Award winner. One for the National League and one for the American League. As Freese fouls it back. The American League winner last year was Adrian Beltre of the Texas Rangers. The National League winner was Yadier Molina, and by a wide margin.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a guy not only that can hit, throw, and he has a manager that has won Gold Gloves as well. And there's his brother, Benji. Looks like Benji's in a little better playing shape right now than when he actually played.
Did you tell him that?
I said you look a lot lighter. Oh, there's no doubt about it. And without a doubt can hit.
Yeah,
good career.
3-1 the count to Freese. It's a strike on the outside corner, 3-2.
Benji Molina, 274 lifetime, 144 home runs, 711 stakes, which are RBIs.
Well, not only that, he was a heck of a defensive catcher.
I think one of the reasons, too, that Mike Matheny actually brought him in, too, as a hitting coach. Those guys know how hard it is to be able to hit, even though he made it look easy. Younger brother being on the team, that'd be pretty good going out with him now that you're a coach. Younger brother can pick up all the mills.
Younger brother goes as Freese shoots it foul off to the right. And it remains 3-2. But Cliff Lee has now hit 100 pitches. It has not been a vintage Cliff Lee night. 41 pitches in the third inning, but he walked 3. Another foul ball by Freese. Mott looks like he's ready to go.
Cliff Lee has had a decent fastball tonight. A lot of times when we see him too, it just doesn't mix in enough of the off-speed pitches, it would seem.
Freeze hits it out toward right field. Dominic Brown comes trotting in to make the catch. So Lee's night is probably done. He does give up a home run to Carlos Beltran. Beltran has homered in each game so far in this series for the Cardinals. That solo shot has given St. Louis a 5-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the 5th here at Philly. And the fact that Neil Diamond performed it today at Fenway Park in honor of all of the folks who did so much this past week to catch the 2 suspected bombers in the Boston Marathon. It's just a chilling story. The whole week has been an emotional roller coaster ride for everyone. Couple that with what happened down in Texas. As President Obama said, this has been a very difficult week in the United States with everything going on. But today up in Boston, they not only celebrated the efforts of the police officers, the first responders, but they also remembered the 3 victims who passed away, or 4 victims now who passed away because of everything that happened up in Boston this week. 2-1 the count to Mayberry as we begin the bottom of the 5th. Cliff Lee, well, he's due to bat 4th in this inning. He's over 100 pitches, but he has the batting gloves on. His team's down 5-0. They've been no hit through 4 so far.
Yeah, time to get a hit. He wanted that pitch. This is predictable. Should get a fastball right here. 3-1.
Well, he did get one. He fouled it back. It's 3-2.
Yeah, anticipating it, however, inside. You know, again, when that pitch is inside, it's more of a reaction. That's why you got to make sure the shoulder's going right toward the pitcher, so that if it is outside, you can hit it that way. Inside, you're going to automatically react, where you clear your hips and hit the ball to left field.
Molina gave that a look. It's back into the Diamond Club. It remains 3-2 to Mayberry. It'll be Mayberry, Revere, and Kratz. Those are the scheduled hitters against Lance Lynn. Sarge, would you agree that he doesn't have no-hit stuff, right? I mean, if this...
Well, it's hard to say. I've always thought, I mean, any pitcher, depending on the luck, there's been hard hit balls already. Dominic hit one, was right there at the fielder. Now he starts to get a little bit more of his adrenaline flowing because he knows the situation. He feels he has no hit stuff.
A liner to left field. Well, forget about that. It's the first hit of the night for the Phils. John Mayberry will pull in the second with a leadoff double.
It's a sigh of relief there on the bench. They should be saying, hey, let's go. Still want to play the game and being able, if you do make it out, get him over. Right now, they're looking for hits. Let's keep the train moving. Good swing on a fastball, hitting against that front foot. Got loaded quick. You can tell because he got the head of the bat out there. Eyes down, more importantly, swung at a strike.
So he's at second base. Ben Revere's coming up. The corners will pinch in a little bit with Lance Lynn working from the stretch for just the 3rd time in this game. He had retired 9 in a row. And Revere takes way outside, 1-0.
See him start to get a little wild, want to work the count. Don't help him out. And they know that he can get wild, even though he had a great year last year. Career-wise, too, just off to a terrific start, 21-8 coming into the season.
Revere was taken all the way. That was a pitch on the outside part of the plate for a strike. It's 2-1.
Thought that might have even been borderline there, but Ben doing the right job and making him pitch, making him throw a strike. Still, he can get that pitch down a little bit lower. Wouldn't be surprised if he took him to full count. That's how you can get back in the game, base runners.
Boy, that was borderline right there.
Yeah, I almost honestly thought it was just a ball, but again, Ben doing the right thing, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Just make sure the ball is down and not up in the zone. Actually thrown nothing so far but fastball. So then as a hitter, that's what you're geared to. Hasn't proven that he's able to get the off-speed pitches over, and with a lead, he should be throwing another fastball for sure.
3-2 the count to Revere with a runner at second. And he stays alive. That's a foul ball.
Pick it back right here. You got to like the battle. You know, again, once you get to 3-2 and start fouling pitches off, you really consider that a quality at bat. A little icing on the cake, however, would be a base hit somewhere.
That one's out toward left field. Holiday waits for it, makes the catch. And one away here in the 5th inning. What will the Eagles do with the 4th overall pick of the NFL draft? Derek Gunn has complete coverage of the first round from New York City. The Kelly Draft, Day 1, presented by Family Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Thursday night at 10:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. And now with one out, Kratz will step to the plate. Lance Nix is in the on-deck circle for the Phillies. Beaumont starts to throw again in the bullpen. Kratz struck out his first time up. Kratz hits one in the air to center field. Robinson going back toward the track. Does he have room? He does. The wind kept that one in the yard, and Mayberry goes back to second, does not tag, and there are 2 outs.
You can see how important it is now that Ben Revere was not able to get him over, but that's why you want to be able to try and pull the ball. Obviously 3-2. Nothing he could do. He's just trying to hit it. With that being the case, would have been able to score. Got it on the end of the bat. I thought he might have had enough. But get it on the end of the bat there, and you can see Robinson going back. Mayberry almost undecided as he goes back to tag up. You know, again, you got to keep your eye on the ball, because if something happens, you don't have to go back. You can just go on and sprint if a fielder misses the ball.
Well, now Nix is up as the pinch hitter with 2 outs in the 5th. And he takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, those are some of the little things that, you know, that happens in a game that causes you for not getting close to the opposition. Not that he would have been able to score, but when you get on third base, there's all kind of different ways that you can score. Wild pitch, air.
A ball and 1 strike to count. Molina goes out to talk to Lance Lynn with the count 1-1 with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Now, usually on a play like that there, Tom, that it's judgment on that player. He's got to know his speed on whether or not he can tag up and get over. You know, the same with Jimmy Rollins last night. I thought he was in an area where as long as you score, Mays taught us. So when you're tagging up, you know, make sure that the guy's going to catch the ball. If you think he's going to catch it, make sure you're tagging up. J-Ro, I thought, did the right thing and was able to score last night, even though the ball was not caught. He still was in an area where he scored. If he had caught the ball, J-Ro would have tagged up last night.
Yeah, I know that, let's say if it was a little shallower to Robinson, then you go halfway if you're Mayberry, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Right,
this
but if
is
it's
really,
that far back, you could score, you go to tag because...
For me, I do, but I'm going to get in an area where I think that if he doesn't catch the ball, you'll be able to score.
Nix is down on strikes, so the Phillies leave one in scoring position. After the leadoff double by John Mayberry, we've completed 5. We go to the 6th. A little different story tonight. We're at the top of the 6th inning. The Cardinals lead at 5-0, and Philippe Almont will take over for Cliff Lee. Cliff went 5. He allowed 5 runs on 7 hits, and now Almont 1-2 so far in 5 games. 4 strikeouts and 3 1/3. 4 hits allowed. There's Cliff. Cliff had pitched so well in his first 3 starts.
Yep.
Tonight, his command just wasn't the same, and it happens. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I bet if you asked him too, he'd say, man, I felt pretty good out there, just didn't get the right results. This is how this game goes sometimes, and balls that were hit hard, the fighting fields, they haven't been able to find any holes, just the opposite.
So now Descalso will lead it off. He has struck out twice. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Won the count. Ooh, late swing off the front of the Cardinals dugout. It's 0-2.
Well, nobody standing up. One of the reasons they weren't on the dugout is because it's so cold, but you can see with a ball hit like that, you have no chance to react.
It'll be Descalso, Cosma, and then the pitcher spot for the Cardinals here in the top of the 6th inning.
You know, Mott has the stuff that when he gets early strikes, he should be licking his chops on just about every hitter.
There's a line drive toward right center field. Dominic Brown is over and makes the catch.
The problem is that when he gets those early strikes, he makes too good of a pitch with the ball down close to the middle of the plate.
Oh, one away. Pete Cosma's coming up, and as Pete comes to the plate, let's turn it over for Murph, because tonight is Autism Awareness Night here at the ballpark, and Murph is with a special guest. Murph?
Certainly am, Tom, and it's the 11th straight year that the Phillies have done this, autism awareness, and right now you're taking a look at Dr. Wendy Ross receiving a proclamation down on the field today, and certainly a special moment and really a special night, Doctor, for a lot of people and for you. Explain to us why it is so special.
Well, I think what makes the event really special in Philadelphia is that it's really about more than one night. And that proclamation was given to me by one of the best child advocates in the state, Denny O'Brien, who's now a councilman. And it's really in honor of the fact that this park is one of the first parks to have a program that will go all season long. So we spent a few weeks educating about autism awareness, all the staff at the park. We prepared families with baseball stories, stories about what happens here. And now we'll be bringing families all season long, supported by clinicians.
It really is an amazing program, guys. Every employee that works at the ballpark went through basically training to try and understand the challenges that folks that suffer from autism have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yes, it was almost 3,000 people that we trained, all of the Aramark employees and all of the Phillies staff.
It is an amazing thing, and you know, obviously they're hoping to raise over $100,000 tonight for various programs around the city. You have a very special program yourself. Explain to folks how your nonprofit works and how they can help.
Right. Well, I think the thing that's great about my nonprofit is that it prepares the community as well as the families, and it sort of forms a bridge between them and gives families the chance to practice and become independent. And if you want to support us, you can go to my website, www.autismir.com. On the website, you'll find resources, strategies for coming to the park, the stories, and you can also donate.
Dr. Ross also teaches folks in airports and in other large communities where a lot of folks gather, and she educates them on how they can deal with autism and how they can help. It's a terrific program. Congratulations on all your hard work. Congratulations on the proclamation. A terrific night here at Citizens Bank Park, doing a lot of good for a lot of folks, Tom.
All right, Murph, thank you very much, and our thanks to Wendy as well for all the work that she's done, not only over the years, but also in particular in preparation for the 2013 season here at the ballpark. Fly ball out to right center field. Ben Revere, as the ball slices away, tracks it down for the second out. Now, part of Autism Awareness Night, Joseph Devers was invited to throw out the first pitch here at the ballpark, and he's trying to get the crowd into a little bit. He picks himself up the fan division, and he throws a perfect pitch to the Fanatic, and he goes a little Brad Lidge on us. Sarge.
Oh, awesome. I think his sister's going to jump in there.
She's playing the role of Carlos Ruiz. And then the Fanatic is playing the role of Ryan Howard.
Okay.
Lance Lynn is up, and he waves at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Well, if you search Wendy Ross's name and autism in the internet, you'll find so many great stories of things that she's established over the years. And it's worthwhile just to take a look at it. 0-2 the count to Lynn. Lynn struck out twice tonight. Cardinals with 5 runs on 7 hits. We mentioned that they scored 4 runs in the third. The base runners got aboard with 3 walks, and the Cardinals are the best, one of the best teams in the majors with runners in scoring position. And they certainly capitalized on it.
Got to have a game plan and players that can execute. It's a good pitch there. I think that's what he should do. Get the early strength there to get a feel for that little slide piece. That was a slider there. No, he wants to get, for me, that he can throw that pitch just about any time he wants. If he can get that developed, he'll be one heck of a reliever. That fastball is just too predictable. You can get him off of that with that slider, especially how hard he throws it. I think he needs to start a little bit further over the inside part of the plate and have it break down and away. He's getting a lot of break on it.
There's that curve ball, and it's a call. Strike 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals here in the 6th inning. So Amat works a pretty comfortable top half of the 6th. And now the Phillies offense trying to find the rhythm that they had last night. Well, you always think back to Brad Lidge and the reaction after clinching the World Championship. And that's exactly what little Joseph did tonight after throwing the first pitch. As we said, his sister played the role of Carlos Ruiz, and it's always good to reflect. Inning here in Philadelphia. Phillies have managed just 1 hit so far against Lance Lynn of the Cardinals. They've reached double-digit in hits in the first 2 games of this series, but a little quiet here tonight as we go to the top of the order. Rollins takes outside. It's 1-0.
Yeah, I thought maybe they'd start to get it together that last inning. Usually end up getting that first hit. So when things usually start to happen good for you, but Lynn settled down and didn't let him score.
On the edge of the outfield and left, and there's one away as Rollins is retired. And that'll bring Freddie Galvis to the plate. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Galvis is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Want to know the count?
Starting to get a little comfortable in that outfield, isn't he?
Can he play it every day?
Well, I mean, he'd be getting better every day because he wants to learn. And by playing shortstop, catching ground balls infield, makes it easier in the outfield.
Shane Robinson out in center field makes the catch. And Galvis is the second out here in the 6th. Cliff Lee tonight went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits and 5 runs. And now after 4 pitches and 2 outs, Chase Utley 0 for 1, a walk and a ground out.
It appears, though, once you get some base runners, he does get a little wild and not as deliberate. Pretty good pitch.
He's had some odd innings, though, Sarge. You know, he had 19 pitches after the first. He had 41 after the second. He had a pretty easy third, a pretty easy fourth. Threw a good amount of pitches in the 5th, but in this inning, he's only thrown 6. This will be the 7th pitch. There it is outside.
Sometimes these guys can be a lot more difficult to hit than somebody even throwing harder, like 94, 95, because you don't know where his pitches are going. Throws a heavy ball, which means when you're hitting it, if you don't hit it right on the screws, doesn't go very far. Mostly 2-seamers.
Utley hits it in the air to center, so one fly ball out after another here in the 6th. 2 to Robinson, and the Phillies go down in order. 6 in a row retired by Lance Lynn. 6 in the books here in Philadelphia. Not a whole lot of offense tonight for the Phillies as they trail it 5-0.
Now, if you're a local Honda dealer's game summary, this is going just the opposite of the way we kind of thought it would tonight. Lance Lynn had given up a lot of hits this year. And, of course, Cliff Lee hadn't walked anybody, basically. Well, tonight, 3 walks in 1 inning. They all scored. 5 innings for him. Just not a good game for him tonight. Got a little bit out of whack in that 3rd inning. I'm sure he'll talk about that later on, and gave up some runs. And the Phillies have not been able to recover because Lynn's been really good.
Shane Robinson, it's the first pitch from Almont to straightaway center, and Ben Revere at the edge of the track makes the catch. So 1 away. Carlos Beltran's coming up. Beltran is 2 for 3. He's hit it in 5 straight. He homered his last time up, and now he's going to bat left-handed against Almont.
Beltran might have put up some good numbers if he played in this show. Huh?
Certainly some comfort. He's probably going to finish his career with around, I guess it depends on how much longer he's going to play. He's going to probably finish his career with more than 350 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, he could finish with, close to 400 depending on how much longer he does play. He's at 336 right now.
He just can never live up to that money they paid him in New York, and he's not the only guy that's ever happened to. He's a glider. He had a lot of trouble with his knees there for a while. But the guy's a tremendous talent.
1-1 the count to Beltran.
He had above average tools and everything. He could run, he could throw, he could hit with power. And the old joke used to be about a superstar who could slide on either side. Well, now they all slide head first, so you get rid of that one. Those are the 5 tools. Never try and slide on either side?
Never could slide on either side.
Right. So it was why it was another tool for a player. I used to laugh about that 5th one when they'd say that.
One and 2 the count.
I'm on a Canadian out there with no sleeves tonight.
Yeah, this is nothing. This is like a spring day for Philippe Aumont.
Right.
Not for everyone here in Philadelphia.
Ponds are starting to melt on a day like this.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Beltran. The breaking ball whacked foul off the foot of Beltran. And it stays even.
Here's what Beltran's done. He's worn it out. There's a home run to left. Here comes one to right.
Yeah, that was a shot.
And then for good measure, let's go deep to left center into the wind. That was really impressive, the way that wind's blowing out there.
Waved at a breaking ball. It's his second strikeout for Aumont. He's retired 5 in a row. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Matt Holliday is singled. He's also walked and scored, grounded out to shortstop. 4 runs in the 3rd for the Cardinals, 1 of the 5th, and not a whole lot for the Phillies offensively. Got to get the home field advantage back at this ballpark, don't they?
Yeah, you know, they're right around where they're at 500. Last year, remember they got 15 under at one point?
Yeah.
15 under 500.
1-1 the count. And finished right around the 500 mark for the year. I mean, this has always been such a great home field advantage. And they need to embrace that again.
And one of the main reasons that the crowds, the enthusiasm that comes. Now, on a night like this, when you're not hitting, it's cold, so people are sitting on their hands, and you can understand that because nothing's happening. Or they got their arms full. Or
they're wrapped around somebody else.
Right.
Out of play, and it's 2-2 to Holliday. Phillies in the bottom of the 7th will have Michael Young, Dominic Brown, and John Mayberry. Aumont trying to keep it at a 5-run deficit.
Carlos Beltran now with 14 homers, 45 RBIs, and 65 games here. 284. That's really solid.
Over to second base, Utley to his left. The side is retired. Holliday was hustling up the line. 6 up, 6 down for Philippe Aumont. It's time to stretch, and Michael Young, when we're done stretching, will lead it off for the Phils. And who are the only 2 players since 1900 to have won multiple Triple Crowns?
Well, I'm going to go with the association here because, and I think he did win too. The guy they called Raja, the great Rogers Hornsby of the Cardinals.
Rogers Hornsby is correct. Congratulations on getting one of the 2.
And I don't know who the other one is.
Well, the other one, it's a tie-in, Wheels. We've tied it in tonight just for this particular question. It's not really a tie-in. I mean, it's really a reach on our part to tie it in.
You know, Yaz won 1, and before that,
well, close.
He had been the last one until last year. I'm close.
Yeah. Here's Michael Young to lead it off. Outside.
Well, see now, okay, I know who, I think I know who it is, but I didn't think he won 2. Ted Williams won 1.
Ted Williams.
He won 2.
Yes.
Wow.
You know the tie-in is?
Sure, all the stuff that's going on in Boston.
Exactly. Sweet Caroline.
Right.
We've been playing along with it.
Yeah.
Outside 2-0.
But I knew Hornsby, from this league, but I did not know that he won 2. And the great Raja in there. That's a heck of a nickname for a guy, isn't it? Raja.
Out of play, it's 2-1.
Second baseman, no less, right? Roger
He's a
Hornsby.
big guy, though, to play second base, wasn't he?
He was, you know, to put up those kind of numbers as an infielder. Wow.
Well, there's a statue outside Busch Stadium. There's a number of them, but there is a Rogers Hornsby statue that's outside Busch Stadium, right?
Well, there should be.
Yeah, there's a big statue of Stan Musial, a real big one.
Yeah.
And then there's some smaller ones, and Rogers Hornsby is one of those smaller ones.
Bob Gibson's out there. Jack Buck.
Yeah, Jack Buck has one by himself that's out in the outfield, the outfield gate. There's Hornsby, one of the Dean brothers is out there.
Oh, that's Diz.
Yep. Michael Young down on strikes. It's 7 in a row, retired by Lance Lynn, who is retired, who has 8 strikeouts. And that'll bring Dominic Brown to the plate. Well, you want to talk about some fixtures. We want to wish a happy 57th wedding anniversary to Jeannie Shore, who's on the left. And we'll throw her husband Jack in there as well, just because he's one of the great guys that you'll ever meet.
And they're spending the night at the yard, huh?
Right, they're together, I guess, kind of. Yeah, we've brought them together just with our telecast. Instead, Jackie is, there's Jeannie. Right. And Jackie, and then Jeannie, I'm sorry, Jack is about 150, 200 feet away from her. And there's Jack. So Jack is spending his 57th wedding anniversary next to Jay McLaughlin, while Jeannie is spending it in the crowd, thinking that she's at the same place as her husband on their anniversary.
And the arrow worked.
Dominic Brown, a swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Truly, Jack Shore, if you don't know him at all, Jack is a special person, and we've known him for a long time. We see him really year-round. I do anyway, with college basketball and here at the ballpark.
What is he? A college basketball guy and a Big Five expert in this town. Back when the Big Five was big here.
Down the left field line, and that is out of play.
My childhood, the Big Five was one of the attractions in this city.
It's still great. Unfortunately, not as many games played at the Palestra as there used to be.
Yeah, it's not the same because of the Palestra not involved the way it was.
Well, you can see Jack at the Palestra from time to time shooting some baskets. If you get him on the free throw line on a good day, he very rarely misses.
He's a trivia guy, too. He likes to come up with trivia questions.
2-2 pitch to Brown. Low, 3-2. Next year we'll have a trivia question. Who did Jack Shore spend his 57th wedding anniversary with?
Mrs. Shore.
Well, sort of. But if you answer Jay McLaughlin, you are correct.
Lance Lynn looks like he's going to run some deep counts. They're going to get to him a little bit early in this game. He's throwing a one-hit shutout.
Well, he just walked his third batter as Dominic Brown is aboard. But the way he's thrown tonight, you would have thought he walked more than 3, at least early on. Right. He's gotten command.
You thought his pitch count would get way out of control. He is up to 104, and they do have the bullpen on.
Trevor Rosenthal pitched in game 1.
You have the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Mayber has Phillies' only hit.
In there for a strike, 1-1. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Pirates are leading the Braves 3-1. Andrew McCutchen, a double and an RBI for Pittsburgh.
Who will be here on Monday?
Pirates will be here for 4 games beginning Monday. Braves lost yesterday to Pittsburgh. Ground ball to third, backhanded by Freese. He'll go to second for 1, and they're able to turn the double play. 5-4-3 around the horn, and the Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 7th. Lance Lynn is through 7. We're going to go to the 8th. Down the man usual statue outside Busch Stadium.
That great peekaboo stance of his. It says, I don't know exactly what it says, but it says something to the effect of, here stands baseball's perfect warrior.
That's what it was. Something like
perfect
that,
knight. The wording on it is just fabulous when you see it. And we talked a lot about Stan in this series and what a wonderful man he was. And that was one of his favorite expressions. Say, how you doing, Stan? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. He loved that word.
Jeremy Horst will take over for the Phillies as we go to the top of the 8th inning. 5-0 Cardinals on top. And Alan Craig takes high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Here stands baseball's perfect warrior. Here stands baseball's perfect knight.
Yep. That's close.
Yeah, that's a beautiful statue too.
And that's the way he hit too. You call it a little peekaboo stance of his. What a hitter. Looked it up the other day. Had 170 some triples, along with the 475 homers and 700 doubles.
Wow. Well, and you're not looking at if I recall correctly, old Busch Stadium, not the one that was next door to the current Busch Stadium, but the first one.
Right, he played in the old one.
That was
Sportsman's Park.
Sportsman's Park. That wasn't huge, was it?
You know, it was shallow in right field.
That's what I remember, just from pictures.
But I was never there, and I really can't picture it that much. Never was in that place. But I remember they had a very shallow right field. Richie Ashburn hit 2 home runs there one night, and they had a general manager named Frank Lane. Remember that guy? And he got so ticked off that Whitey Ashburn would hit 2 home runs down the line in right field that he put a net out there further out from the foul pole out further into right field. Said this is ridiculous if this guy can hit 2 homers in the game. True story, I think. Whitey told it that way.
What did the net do?
Well, it would be in play if it hit it.
Oh,
knock it down. It was like the old.
How to do that?
Back then, if you were Frank Lane, probably. There wasn't any association or anything.
All right, here we go. 426. Left center was 379. 426, 354, 310 to right field.
There you go, 310.
As Molina dumps one into right center, he's 3 for 4. It's like that old story about Kauffman Stadium. When not Kauffman Stadium, but the stadium in Kansas City before Kauffman Stadium, when the A's played there, where Charlie Finley wanted to, when they were thinking about building Kauffman Stadium, he wanted to be able to move the fences in when the move the fences out when the opposition was up, and move them in when the A's were up.
That was back in the days when you had general managers that were probably as powerful as anybody in the game. Frank Lane's nickname was Trader Frank.
David Freese hits it the opposite way. Brown on the run, and he makes the catch as he gets into the scoreboard. He dropped it. They're going to say he had it, though. They're going to say that he was pulling it out of his glove in the exchange. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
Getting a little heat right now is Jerry Lane at home plate for the Cardinals dugout. But it did look like he picks it out. There he is. He makes a good play. Good running play. Now he hits the wall. Whoops. Supposed to have quote unquote a clean exchange.
He is supposed to have a clean exchange. Now his back was to Greg Gibson, who made the call.
Well, they might have got one there.
Descalso is called for strike 1.
That's a tough look for an umpire from that far away, even though he's running out there.
Yes, he has it there. He makes contact with the wall. He needs to be able to put it in his hand. That wasn't the clean exchange.
Nope. That's when he's got a break there.
0-2 the count on that curveball.
Technically, they say you have to reach in and take it out of the glove. And he reached in and didn't take it out of the glove.
Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Out towards shallow left, and Freddie Galvis is under it. And the Cardinals go down quietly in their half of the 8th on a cool night here in Philadelphia. The Phillies bats have been cool all night long. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Cardinals will go to their bullpens. Cardinals capitalized on 3 walks by Cliff Lee back in the 3rd to score 4 runs. Wiz.
Yeah, he had walked 1 batter the whole season in 3 starts, and got a little bit wild high in that inning. And then Lance Lynn, it looked like he was a guy you might be able to get early in the game because he's running some deep counts. He has been tremendous. He's got Michael Young that strikes 3 times there. Slider, curveball for a strikeout, another curveball there to Galvis, fastball that came tailing back over the plate. Guy went 7 innings, just gave up 1 hit, another good breaking ball there. And the only hit was the double by John Mayberry, who grounds into a double play right there, and that'll be the last batter that Lance Lynn will face tonight.
All right, so he'll give way to Trevor Rosenthal. Rosenthal is behind 1-0 to Ben Revere, and he just fired a strike at 95 of the knees. It's 1-1. Rosenthal pitched in game 1 of this series. His ERA 4.66. That is 1-2. Ben Revere's grounded out to second. He's flying out to left. Joe Savory throwing in the pen for the Phillies.
He's been here this weekend. Have to make a move for Monday, of course, to get a starting pitcher here.
And Revere is struck out. Molina hangs on. 9 strikeouts for Cardinals pitching. With 1 out in the 8th. It'll bring Kratz to the plate. Yeah, it's kind of interesting as you know, when you're around the game, you try to speculate, well, who's it going to be? You try to speculate moves here and there. And obviously there's some guys that are on the 40-man roster that are down at Lehigh Valley, which is kind of important when you think about it. Jonathan Pettibone is scheduled to pitch Monday for Lehigh Valley. Tyler Cloyd is scheduled to pitch tomorrow for Lehigh Valley. Ethan Martin pitched today. Ruben Amaro did say the other day that Jesse Biddle, who's one of the top prospects for the Phillies, who's in Reading, that he is not an option to pitch Monday. 21-year-old. He's off to a decent start. So we'll see. 0-2 to Kratz. Kratz just broke his bat. Rosenthal going to try to get that one. Can't. And it's going to be an infield hit for Eric Kratz.
Well, that'll make up for that 400-foot out he did last time.
Man, that would have been out on so many different nights.
Way out.
So a base hit, 1 out single. Pinch hitter coming up. And it's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, C-Mac. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And the Nationals have placed third baseman Ryan Zimmerman on the 15-day disabled list because of a strained hamstring. 28-year-old has missed the last 2 games with that injury and has really struggled early this season, so they're giving him a rest. And guys, have you been following the ongoing battle between Buck Showalter and Rex Ryan?
Yeah.
It is a strange story. It all started when the NFL asked the Orioles to change one of their games this year so that the Ravens could start the NFL season at home, as that one is fouled off Kevin Franz's foot. So they asked them to change the game so the Ravens could start at home being the Super Bowl champions. Well, the Orioles decided that they didn't want to play 80 games at home and 82 on the road, so they decided to keep their game as it is. So, of course, the New York Jets coach, Rex Ryan, weighed in saying he doesn't think anybody would care if the Orioles didn't show up that day and that they should just go on the road and let the NFL have that day. Buck Showalter guys just fired back. Say, what do they play? 16 games, 8 at home, and have a week off in between? And Showalter did say that he will be there when the Jets come to Baltimore this year. So the battle continues, and I feel like the notebook just went to TMZ.
Where is Harvey Levine when you need him? You know, Murph, it is funny, though. I read those stories, and Showalter also said, hey, Rex, shouldn't you worry about that matchup against the Ravens and not worry about the schedule that we have to play?
I tend to agree with that. I'm not exactly sure why Rex felt the need to weigh in on that issue, but
it's because he's Orion.
Well,
that is true.
You have a point.
Franzen fouls it back. It remains 0-2. And by the way, just to also add to Murph's story about Ryan Zimmerman, the Nationals have called up their top position player prospect, Anthony Rendon, who is going to be, I guess, going to take over third base.
Sure.
#1 pick a couple of years ago for them, and they expect big things out of him. It's interesting to watch Ryan Zimmerman do what he does. 4 errors already this season, and I don't know if you can pin the way he's been throwing the ball from third base on his hamstring, but I'm sure it hasn't helped early this season.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why they moved Rendon to third, because they thought that Zimmerman would eventually take over at first for the Nationals, but they've just signed Adam LaRoche to a 2-year deal. I think it's a 2-year deal, so I'm not sure what they're going to do as the years move on. Franzen fouls it up the third base line again.
And Zimmerman's been a guy who's been the face of their franchise for a long time when they were a terrible team. He was a guy out of their organization, #1 pick for University of Virginia. You thought about the Nationals, you thought about Ryan Zimmerman, really. But he has had a bad shoulder for a while. A lot of trouble throwing. Kevin Franzen up there really battling this guy, throwing hard fastballs, sliders. He likes that pine tar on his helmet.
It sure does. He waves at the 0-2 pitch, and it's the second strikeout for Rosenthal. Well, we'll take a look at our Mazda leaders. And the St. Louis Cardinals lead the National League with the lowest earned run average among starters at 2.60. Braves, the Dodgers, the Reds, the Cubs. Surprisingly, the Cubs, I think. They're 5th right now.
Guy's really come into his own in this league is Samardzija. For a lot of years, people were saying, well, he should have gone to the NFL. He's a tremendous wideout at Notre Dame. We figured he'd be a big star in the NFL. And why is he wasting his time in baseball? Well, he has really come on. He's evidently his changeup's outstanding. Always had a great fastball, decent slider.
0-2 the count to Rollins. He's 0 for 3. And he fouls it away.
Pretty good. 1-17
for a guy that they say from time to time struggles with his command.
It's not fun to hit off a guy like this tonight. Throwing 100 mile an hour, as cold as it is. Oof. Kevin Franzen hit some ball off his feet. He really was having trouble walking back to the dugout after he swung and missed and struck out.
Outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He feel like after a season, all the games he's played and all the post game and all the foul tips you take, you talk about beat up.
Well, he just asked the home plate umpire what the count was, because up on the board it said 2-0. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 3-2.
Because the proper grammar would be beaten up.
Either way, he's limping around.
In other words, he takes a lot of punishment back there.
Runner goes, pitches chopped toward first, smothered by Craig. And the Phillies get a base runner here in the 8th, but can't move that guy off of first. So we've completed 8. We go to the 9th inning in Philadelphia. The Cardinals 5 formation. Well, that is Joe Savory, who's out on the mound for the Phillies, making his return to the big leagues. He says, he's been around long enough that he realizes that things happen very quickly. And just like that, he's down in Lehigh Valley pitching up in Pawtucket on a road trip back. Gets the call that he's going to be back in the big leagues. You see his numbers at Lehigh Valley. He's had a pretty good run going right now of scoreless innings and batters faced with the Iron Pigs.
Well, when you still have options, stuff happens.
Well, 21 consecutive hitters retired. And one thing that we've all come to know about Joe Savory, Murph, is that he's a good dude. He's a heck of an athlete. He's a former top pick, and he's persevered a little bit during his career.
Well, he certainly has, Tom. And it's a tough road to hoe when you're bouncing back and forth between the major leagues and the minor leagues. And I think it's tough on all these guys, but I think it was particularly tough on Joe at times. But in talking with him yesterday and listening to him talk about being back in the major leagues and getting another chance, I mean, he's just very appreciative of the opportunity to kind of come back up here and show them what he can do, even if it's for a very limited time, which it may be. But Joe talked about being around for a while and kind of learning how to bounce in between and kind of get your focus when you're up at the big leagues and try to take advantage of the opportunities that you get.
Well, he had 4 different stints with the Phillies last year. His ERA finished over 4 during his time with the Phillies. We mentioned he's retired 21 straight batters down in the minor leagues. And he gets Cosman to foul the 2-0 off. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was a foot shot, too. You hear that thump. So you may as well throw it right back down and in like that.
Savory during spring training was kind of the cleanup guy. He would clean up an inning if it got out of control for guys that were getting work in, which I'm sure was a little frustrating for him. But when he was eventually sent down, he was working his normal routine on the backfield.
Well, they sent him out early.
They did.
That was one of the things I think that surprised him a little bit.
There's a changeup that's low. It's 3-1.
One of the problems he's had in the big leagues is command and walks too many guys. And in the minor leagues this year especially, he hasn't been doing that.
He just walked Cosman to begin the 9th inning.
You see his reaction out there, like, here I go, I don't walk anybody, and I come up here and I walk the first guy I face.
And Ty Wigginton is going to be the pinch hitter for the Cards. Wigginton 2 for 15. There's some boos going through the ballpark. Just a few.
Yeah, at least they remember you.
Time is called. Rappers are rushing by Wigginton and Eric Kratz and Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire.
Wind's blowing in the way the Rappers are going.
I want to know the count.
Great idea. Pitch inside. Guys don't want to swing at that stuff. You get jammed and it hurts.
One and two the count. Swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking pitch. And one out here in the ninth.
A good slider, as Tom said, a breaking pitch here. He just kept staying inside on Wigginton, threw a disappearing slider there, and he swung over it.
That'll bring Shane Robinson to the plate. Are you eligible for the 2013 Callis Award? Well, you must be a rising junior or senior of post-secondary education at one of the eligible colleges or universities within the Philadelphia region. Go to phillybroadcasters.org to download the application. You can email it right in from there. And you can check out which schools are eligible for this year's award. Now, the application, the deadline, needs to be postmarked by the 30th of April. So time's running out, but you do have time. And it's a pretty easy application. Again, the winner will receive a $1,500 scholarship. Robinson pops it up. Shallow right field. Utley is there. 2 outs.
Good. Joji's got an out on a change up to a right-handed hitter. Got an out on a slider down and in to Wigginton, then throws a little change up there away. Got him to reach. Off balance. That's a serious shin guard he's wearing.
Who's that, Beltran?
Yeah. That's a big one.
It's that one out toward left field. It's not that deep. Galvis is under it. And Joe Savory has a fairly easy top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Phils. Mitchell Boggs is coming on. The Phils down by 5.
Galvis made a nice play on this. He kept running to the side, stayed under control. He didn't have time to get to the wall and find out where it was, but he felt the warning track, jumped. He knew he still had room. Made a nice play.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies down by 5. You know, it's been a 4-0 lead since the 3rd, but the way the Phillies offense has been quieted tonight, it's almost felt like it's been a 10-0 game.
Yeah, it had that feel here tonight for some reason. It was such a bizarre inning. I think it took the life out of everybody, the crowd, the Phillies. Cliff Lee walked some batters and they scored. Of course, there was a strange play in the infield that they'll ask Chase Utley about later that cost a couple runs of why he broke to the right instead of the left. We didn't think they were first and second with a runner, so we didn't think anybody broke where he was covering second base. Find out later.
Yeah, it's a good point because, you know, it's 5-0 now. You figure if Chase had made that play, only 2 runs would have scored that inning instead of 4.
It's a 2-0 game. You don't know if it's going to be different, but it was just kind of a bizarre thing the way that it happened. And Cliff walked 3 guys and they all scored. They didn't have to all score.
Freddie Galvis will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. He struck out twice. He's flat out to center. And that one is over at the knees for Mitchell Boggs. It's 0-1. You saw Boggs' numbers. It's not been a good start for him. They thought he'd be the closer with Jason Mott being on the shelf with the elbow problem. But he has struggled. In fact, the only time we have seen the Cardinals in a save situation in the series, game 1, it was Edward Mojica who pitched more than an inning in relief.
Yeah, Boggs is a big arm guy too. He's a real good fastball. We've seen a lot of him over the years. Breaking ball to change up. But yeah, his numbers are not good. He's really struggled.
Ground ball right side. To his right is Descalso. He bobbles and he's safe at first. Greg Gibson calls Freddie Galvis safe. I thought he still had him because he got the ball back quickly and released it pretty quick.
Yeah, be an error on Descalso. Made a really good play earlier in the game. Right there he bobbles it, but it stays right there where he catch it with his bare hand, make a strong throw. Craig did a little cheat there to try and get the call. Right there, he never took his eye off it. He's out.
Yeah, it did look like it beat him. Greg Gibson called him safe. So the Phillies have a base runner to start the bottom of the 9th. Chase Utley, the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Inside, 1-1. ball back to the left and out of play. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the count to Utley. Michael Young on deck. And Chase grounds it towards second. Descalso to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. So they get the lead runner. Utley shattered his bat. Don't forget, after the ball game, it's Phillies post-game live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Guys, I'll have a breakdown of tonight's ball game against the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, it's coming up immediately after the game. It's Cure Auto Insurance. It presents Phillies post-game live. And don't forget, the series wraps up tomorrow. It's an 8:05 first pitch. And it's the Fanatics' birthday, sponsored by Citizens Bank. All the youngsters coming to the park tonight, 14 and under, will receive the Fanatic DVD, the Time Travel and DVD. Michael Young keeps his hitting streak alive. It's up to 11 games with that base hit through the left side.
Yeah, he's happy to have Lance Lynn in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he went down 3 times on strikes against Lynn. He's got a base hit. He's hitting 11 straight.
They get into a save situation. Is that Mojica? They have somebody up out there.
That is Edward Mojica, who is throwing in the bullpen.
Yep, there he is. He is their closer at the moment. They went through that the year they won the World Series and finally settled on Mott at the end of the year, and the rest is history.
Dominic Brown hits it toward the left side. That could be it. 5-4-3 double play, and that'll do it for tonight's ball game. So the St. Louis Cardinals have shut out the Phillies 5-0. It's the second time this year the Phillies have been shut out in a ball game. Yadier Molina had 3 hits tonight. Carlos Beltran homered for the 3rd time in this series. And the Cardinals capitalized on 3 walks to begin the 3rd inning by Cliff Lee to jump out to a 4-0 lead. And then they walked away with a 5-0 victory over the Phillies. Now Lance Lynn, who's our Chevrolet player of the game, early on he was throwing a lot of pitches, but then all of a sudden you looked up in the 5th inning, he had a lot of base hits.
Well, one of the things that probably helped him was he got that 4 spot, kind of like Roy Halladay last night, got a lead, so that loosened him up. And then he started really throwing well. He had a real good breaking ball, curveballs, and sliders, and running fastball. And he, as I said, once he got that lead, it was probably a lot easier for him to just go out there and do his thing. There's a double play ball. That's the last batter he would face. John Mayberry, up until that point, had the only hit for the Phillies, a double.
Yeah, the Phillies finished with 3 base hits here tonight, but it wasn't their night. Offensively, they lose 5-0 to the Cardinals.